Okay, here we go. Showtime. All right, pulling up my notes. And getting on Facebook, live on Instagram. Okay, there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, I need to type the topic in the chat. Okay, hold on. All right, live here on Instagram, live on Facebook. The topic today is while men are dating, women are looking for husbands. How's that? Anytime I type, I have to like say it out loud. How's that working out for you? Just so I know I'm spelling. Hey, welcome to today, part 3 of my live masterclass, which is how to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships, how to dodge dysfunctional relationships. And I am, okay, so while men are dating, women are looking for husbands. How's that working out for you? You can type good, not so good in the comments. Plus, I want to make sure you can hear me. So you can type good or not so good in the comments. I am live on Instagram, live on Facebook. I think I'm live on Twitter, but there's that. So, okay. All right. So I just want to make sure you can hear me. I know yesterday my internet was acting a hot mess. And I don't know if it is today as well, because it's like, I can't really do anything about the internet, but call and complain. So I just want to make sure you can hear me. Ma'am's, is it cook something? I don't want to put my face so close to the camera. I see you said great topic. Why do you think it's a great topic? And do you think it's true? I would love to hear your opinion on that. Okay. Oh man, I don't know what's going on with my internet. That is really irritating me. But yesterday we got through it, so we're just going to keep going, and I'm hoping that it will just get better as we move along. And I'm definitely going to call them this weekend and be like, how can I make this better? Because I can't be having my internet going out if I'm supposed to be going live all the time. It's part of my business. Come on now. Come on now. Okay. So, but you can hear me, right, Heaven? I just want to make sure. Right, on Instagram, you can definitely hear me. It's something, maybe it's something about Facebook, because when I'm live on Instagram, nobody has a problem with it being spotty or they can't hear me. So maybe it's a Facebook issue, which again, out of my control. And I'm somebody who's like, control the controllable. So we just gonna keep it moving. Okay. All right. So what I want to do right now though is stop this, save this, do this. Okay. So the topic for today, while men are dating, women are looking for husbands. And how is that working out for you? Good, not so good, not good. Please type that in the comments. And hi, my name is Reka. Welcome. This is part 3 of my masterclass, How to Dodge a Dysfunctional Relationship. And it's part 3 of 8. It's an 8-part series. And today, this is going to be the topic. And the reason why I want to see your comments and is because I want to get to know you, right? What comes up for you when I say that? While men are dating, women are looking for husbands. And how's that working out for you? I would love to know where you stand on that. Is it good or not so good? So this episode, part 3 of my 8-part series masterclass, is for the woman who is, you're sick of dating emotionally unavailable men and you'd like to know how to avoid that. We're going to talk about it today. Okay. You know what you want, but you don't know how to get it, right? We're going to talk about that today. Okay. You're sick of getting your hopes up only for the relationship rug to be snatched out from under you. How many of you can say that that has happened to you, right? You get your hopes up about a guy, and then that relationship rug snatch. Nope, it's not going to happen. Okay. We're going to talk about that today because I want to talk to the woman inside of you who is screaming, I'm a good woman. and I deserve the desires of my heart. Why aren't I married yet? What's wrong with me? I want to talk to that woman. Okay. Is this already resonating with you? You could type yes in the chat. Okay. So while men are dating, women are looking for husbands. What do I mean by that? Every time you get asked out on a date, or you are enjoying a man's company, or you find him attractive, this happens in the first day, the first week. And every time your vagina jumps and thinks, oh my gosh, this could be the guy. He could be the one. So you're dating in hopes that the end game is marriage instead of who this man is and how he fits into the life you actually want. Because I truly believe that you know what you want. You just don't know how to get it. That's why you're here, right? But the problem is you're always on the hunt for a husband instead of just living. So every time your vagina is like, whoa, oh, he's fine. You know how they always say men think with this head and not with this. I would argue that women think with this head and not with this. Because you think that tingly feeling is, oh, he could be the one. That is your question every time you're interested in a dude or a dude is interested in you. Every time you, especially if you're attracted to him, right? This does not apply to men you are not attracted to because, girl, baby, once we get that attachment because he is fine, whoo, Jesus, all the rules go out the window. And this is a conversation that I had on my friend Cameo. She has a podcast called the Good Girl Podcast. And we had a panel of 3 men and us 3 women. And one of the guys said, men, we just know how to date better than y'all. Y'all put your eggs in one basket. And so, by the way, I do want to introduce myself. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Reka. I am the host of Single You, the podcast, which is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. I'm a certified NLP life coach. So I studied neuro-linguistic programming in our brain, okay, to get a little nerdy. All right. And so I'm a boundaries coach. I am not a dating coach. I am not a relationships coach. I'm a boundaries coach. And I'm the founder of Single You Academy. And what is Single You Academy? It is my online intensive 16-week inner work program focused on your growth for the professional single woman. Most of my clients tend to be single moms. Most of my clients tend to be in their 30s and 40s. But it is for the single woman, the professional single woman who wants to stop this cycle of dysfunctional relationships with men. Or maybe it's just that one guy, right? You're thinking of your baby daddy. Because most of the time, right? Like as we were dating, we did pretty good at like dodging a lot of things. But there was this one guy or maybe 2 or 3 guys that really just knocked us off our center. And what was that? And now we're trying to recover from that. And we don't want that ever again, right? So my clients are women who are ready to discover their worth and learn how to set clear boundaries, okay? All right, so let's talk about it. While men are dating, women are looking for husbands. You are looking for a husband because you feel entitled to marriage. Just gonna let that sit there. Write that down. I feel entitled to marriage. Right? So where do we get that thought? Disney. Okay? I'm going to give you a few reasons why we have that thought. First, I'm starting with Disney. Okay? So let's talk about like the Beauty and the Beast story, right? I feel like that's the worst one. When we were as little girls and we saw Belle conform to what Beast needed so she could bring the prince out in him and then happily ever after. And so that's what we think we can do, right? That's how we date. I just got to find this dude. I'm going to shine him up. Boom, I'm going to get married because that's what's supposed to happen. We also get this idea from church. One of my favorite scriptures, well, I'll say the scripture that most people take out of context and they like to throw it at us as Christian women is that God, the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. That does not have to mean romantic relationship. Yeah, it's not good for us to be alone, but that means community. We need to be in community. We need to be surrounded by like-minded people. That doesn't mean your life sucks because you don't have a husband. So these messages that you're getting as you're growing up as a little girl in this society, through Disney and through church, is you are supposed to be married. That is the goal in life. The goal in life is once you hit about 23.5, you should be married and a kid on the way. And if you don't, life sucks because it's not good for man to be alone. So therefore, God doesn't deem you good because you're single. Okay. Also, society outside of, I think these are the top two questions that everybody asks women. Top two. Okay. And I'm like, one and two, they're rivaling. So maybe you can order them for me. So I would say number two is, when you having kids, where your kids at? And number one is, where your man at? That is the top two questions asked at a barbecue. Every time you go to your auntie's house, every time you see the church ladies, every time you see somebody that you used to know in high school. So where your husband? Where your kids? And then number three is always, of course, about career, right? So this is why, while men are dating, because I do believe what my friend said, that men are just better at this than we are, because they're just coasting. But we're just like, okay, so, oh my God, I'm 27 and I'm not married and I don't have kids. For me, I don't have kids, and I'm 30. I'm about to be 38 June 29th. Hey, but yeah, once you hit, it's like life stops at 27 if you're not married. And so while you're out here and you meet a prospect and you're attracted, then you're like, oh my God, he could be the one. Oh my God, he could be the one. And we like a weekend. What? Whoa, slow down. The original hot Donna, what up, girl? You said it's not working out for you. Oh, my name is Reka, just Reka, not Marika. But hi, thanks for watching. But I'm glad you're here, because if you're saying it's not working out for you, this is why. So here's the truth about marriage, okay? So I'll be looking up statistics and stuff, okay? And I'm pretty sure you've heard this. Almost 50% of all marriages in the United States will end in divorce or separation. Plus, researchers estimate that 41% of all first marriages end in divorce. According to a recent survey for, let's see, for it, it's like a weird title, the 191 CDFA professional. I just like to cite my sources, okay? But they said that these are the three leading causes of divorce. 3, basic incompatibility, infidelity, number 2, and money issues, number 3. So why do I bring that up? What's my point? We have to take marriage and relationships more seriously. We have to. We have to take learning ourselves more seriously than we're doing now. Nobody takes it seriously. Like, just think of all the things that you have to take seriously. Like, if you want to learn how to drive, you got to go take a test. You got to read a book, take a test, show somebody you can do it. Everything. Think about when you're at work, right? When you're applying for jobs, all of the things you have to go through to prove that you are worth being hired, and then the onboarding process. Why don't we have that process when it comes to learning ourselves? Because how we deal with relationships determines how we deal with ourselves first. If you don't have a good relationship with yourself, I would be shocked if you had a good relationship with other people. Okay? And you know how they said the number 3 issue, a lot of people think it is money, and there are some statistics that do say that money is the number 1 issue. But I would believe it would be basic incompatibility, because it's not the money, it's the way you think about money, in my opinion, that causes issues in relationships. For example, story time. Okay. So my name is Reka, and I have a boyfriend that cost me $10,000. And we're going to get into that story. Okay. I'm going to give you the cliff notes because otherwise we'd be here for 3 hours. All right. So here we go. This boyfriend was actually an ex-boyfriend. He was my boyfriend in college. Shout out to Howard University. Yes, I graduated from the Howard University. So he was my boyfriend from college. We broke up. We were like 18 to 19, whatever. Boom. Come back. Oh, here's an important part though of the story. When we broke up in college, he broke up with me because I was too much. So he was demonstrating to me that he was a very insecure man. Of course, I didn't know that then. This is Reka, about to be 38, able to process what I went through. So anyway, we broke up. Years go by. Yeah, like 15 years. I told you I'm about to be 38 in June. This happened 3 years ago. My time is getting, I think as you get older, you forget like time frames. Anyway, so he hits me up. Uh-oh, something happened to my live. Am I still live on Facebook? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure I'm still live. Am I still live on Facebook? Because it looks like Instagram dropped off. Yes. Okay, I'm good. All right, Cheryl, we gonna keep going then. Okay. All right. So, and let me, dang it. I don't know. I've never had this happen. And I'm going to tell you about this $10,000 boyfriend, but hold on. Let me just pull through on Instagram real quick. While men are dating, women are looking for husbands. Okay. While men are dating, women are looking for husbands. How's that working out for you? Okay. I don't know what happened. My live. What's up? T-Lay. Yo, we need to catch up, man. We need to catch up, bro. Okay, so I was live here on Instagram and then it cut out. So I don't know why, but here I am again being live. So the topic is while men are dating, women are looking for husbands. How's that working out for you? So, all right, let's get back to the $10,000 boyfriend because I'm live here on Facebook as well, okay? T-Lay, I'll have to text you because we got to catch up. All right, so I'm Reka. I have a $10,000 boyfriend. Boom. Cut to the fact that years later, 15 years later, this ex-boyfriend of mine from Howard University reaches out to me. Reka, what up? How you doing? And I honestly didn't have his number saved. And I remember saying, who is this? Like, what? Because of the fact that he knew my name. Most of the time, I just ignore people. And that was the day I let the window open and I should not have, okay? So we started talking, and of course, he started pouring out on me that, oh my God, you've always been the one. I miss you. How you been? Blah, blah, blah. We start kikiing, doing the catch up, okay? He starts telling me all of these things that I want to hear. You've always been one. I shouldn't have let you go. You're the one that got away, right? Like, we love hearing those fairy tale stories, and I fell for every bit of it, okay? And the reason why I say fell is because of this. So he lived in DC at the time. I'm in Seattle. I just tell people Seattle. I'm just going to stick with Seattle. I'm from Seattle. Go Hawks all day. And he decided that he wanted to move from DC to Seattle to be with me. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I'm about to get the story. Like, he's moving for me. People always say you need to watch his actions. And if a man really wants to be with you, he gonna be with you. Right? All of these cliches that we follow and listen to without really knowing what they mean. So anyway, he does get a job. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just shout out Amazon. He works at Amazon, maybe still to this day. I don't know because I don't talk to him. But anyway, so in the midst of his moving, he says to me, oh, you know, I did get the job. You know, I'm really excited about moving. I just don't know if I have enough money to move. Here go my duty of thinking, oh, well, you're moving for me? I feel obligated that I need to give you now money to move for me because, my God, you're moving for me. And I'm about to get this story of marriage because that's what he was promising. And so I gave him my credit card. And let me tell you, baby, he racked that credit up $10,000. $10,000. And here is the red flag that I bypassed. Because, of course, at this point, I was looking for my husband, right? And this is manipulation at its finest. But I got stronger because of it. So I don't even regret it. Okay, so during the time that he was telling me, you're the one, you've always been the one, whoop, 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 that was right after my toxic, abusive, emotionally abusive relationship. And so I was still in the process of healing, which honestly, obviously shouldn't have moved on that fast, but I knew better about finances. And so I would always ask him, so how are your finances? Because he seemed to have a good job. He had a Hellcat. I'm thinking, oh, he got it together. And I was like, so what's your credit score? Like, what's up? What's up with the money? Like, how much money do you make an hour? I was not interrogating him, but I am allowed to ask. If you're talking about we about to get married, about your finances, I'm allowed to. But he hesitated and he never told me, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Let me just get it together. I'm gonna clean it up and then I'll tell you, you know what I'm saying? Like, woo, 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 woo. All of the things they say to us, and then we feel bad. So I was like, oh, okay. So I let that bypass. So anyway, he racks up my credit, $10,000, has the audacity to come sit in this house on that couch and tell me he's breaking up with me because I have it two together. It makes me mad every time. It makes me mad every time. I mean, I'm healed, whatever. He told me, and at that time, I was stronger from my emotionally abusive relationship that I was able to be like, okay, when you leaving? Instead of going, oh my gosh, I messed up. What's wrong with me? How can I fix this? No, bye. So obviously that relationship ended. Yes, Cheryl. Yes, freaking way. I have it two together. The woman that made you able to move to a city you wanted to live in. What kind of mind F is that, right? What kind of mind? Why do you think I've been celibate for over 2.5 years now? It'll be 2.5 come June, which is my birthday month. Hey. Because I'm not playing these games no more. What we're not gonna do is fall for the BS anymore because I feel bad and I feel the duty to take care of somebody. And I feel that I'm supposed to be married. Because, oh, God forbid, I'd be 38 come June 29th and I'm not married. Oh my God. Why do we think that's such a scary thought? Think about that. Think about that. Okay, so what I'm saying is we have to get better at guarding our heart. And this is not about being bitter and hating men. I do not hate men. Men are wonderful. They are some beautiful creatures, especially a Black man. What? So I don't want anybody to be bitter, but I do want you to be healed and question why you were the woman you were in that relationship that you hate. Like it's like this duality, like, oh my God, I miss him, but I hate that relationship. I miss him, but I hate that. You got to figure out why. It's a lot of questions, and we got to do better at guarding our heart, right? Instead of looking for this husband, we need to be on guard. It's about a fence, not a brick wall. The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And this is what I mean about not being bitter. The more that we allow men in, unfortunately, what does it do to our heart? And then how our life flows from that? Because we steady thinking about Tom, Dick, and Harry and what they did to us. So now we're being mean to our kids. We're being mean to our coworkers. We're being mean to us. We're judging us. Oh my God, how could you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Instead of figuring out the why, so then you can move past it and never do it again. Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. It is in the doing better that you will get your healing. Because we're over here claiming that we are Christians and we don't even read our Bible, because God been trying to put us on game about humans and his sons. The Bible talks about bad company corrupts good character. Make sure you're unequally yoked, which in my mind means that there are people out here who have bad character and they ain't for me. So there's a book called Girl, Wash Your Face. I want to write a book called Girl, Read Your Bible. It's like we just took the love thy neighbor as thyself, as if it meant, okay, as long as I love you as I want to be loved, you're gonna do that to me. I'm going to receive that back from everybody. No, you're not. The Bible said bad company corrupts good character. It ain't got nothing to do with how you treat them. How you treat them is for you, not for them to treat you how you want to be treated. The Bible also talks about do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet. That's what happened. I gave my pearls to this pig who took this money from me and then trampled all over me and literally said to me out of the same mouth that took my money, said to me, oh, you got it two together. So I can't. Oh my God, you helped me move. That's too much for me. Like, who does that? Men who don't have good character. Because this is how we find compatibility, right? So earlier, I was talking about being a woman who feels entitled to marriage because Disney told us we're going to get our happily ever after. The church told us it's not good for man to be alone, so I got to hurry up and find a husband. Society is always saying, where your kids, where your husband, to women. So we're just entitled to this marriage, and we don't want to do any work to get a good marriage. So do you want a marriage? Do you want a wedding? Or an actual healthy marriage? Because this is how we find compatibility nowadays. He's fine though. Oh my God, he's fine. He got a good job. Oh my God, he was nice. Girl, he could be the one. And then our vagina over here doing backflips over a man that we don't even know yet. We haven't even seen his fruit. The Bible says you will know my people by their fruit, which means you got to be a fruit inspector. But if you don't even know yourself and your own fruit, you definitely not going to know anybody else's fruit or how to spot it, right? We got to learn how to pump the brakes and stop getting so excited for the story of marriage. We want that story so bad, and I get it. Cinderella, Belle, all of these Disney movies that us 80s baby. So I'm an 80s baby, a 90s kid. All of these messages that we receive, like, girl, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have this, and you're gonna have that, and oh, it's gonna be so cute, and you're gonna be in this tiara, and you're gonna be glittered up and slayed to the gods. Do you want that, or do you want a healthy marriage? Do you want that, or do you want to be a healthy person, emotionally intelligent? So we got to learn how to pump the brakes and slow down the dating process. Your vagina doesn't know if he's the one or not. Tell her to shut up. You can't be out here looking for a father for your kids or staying in a relationship because you don't want another baby daddy. Because what are you teaching your daughters, your sons? Staying in this cycle of dysfunction because you don't want to be single. You don't know how to be single. You're scared to be single. You think so negatively about your single season that you will just do anything to hold on. So dating should be data collecting, okay? What do I mean by that? Here, I'm gonna give you two things. Are you liking his behaviors? And can you deal with his behaviors? Like, whatever your list is, women, we have our list, right? I have a list. And my list is not he got to be 6 feet or whatever. My list is things like he got to be slow to anger. That's what the Bible talks about. I'm looking for character. I'm looking for fruit. So whatever your list is, you become that. Make sure you're, make sure you're that. You know how the Bible talks about love, right? Love. Oh my God, that word is thrown around so many times. And I just am like, how are people defining love? I define love by the Bible standards. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. If I cannot replace my name with the word love, like Reka is patient, Reka is kind, Reka does not envy, then I'm not being a loving person. Now, can you replace the man that you like so much with the word love? Is Tommy patient? Is Tom? Where did I get the name Tommy? Why did I choose Tommy? I want to choose something more like somebody I would date. I don't think I would date a Tommy. Like, I would date like a Derek or something. I don't know. But is Derek patient? Is Derek kind? Does Derek not envy? Because if you're in a cycle of dysfunctional relationships, that means there's manipulation going on. There's some narcissistic characteristics going on. There's some lies going on. And remember, I told you the statistics of why people get a divorce. Number 2 was infidelity. I would argue, I wonder what the statistics are on this. I would argue if your man cheats on you while you're dating, he will cheat on you when you get married. I would argue that. And there's some reasons why I would do that, but that's not the point today. But anyway, because remember, so if you're just tuning in, the top 3 reasons why people get divorced are basic incompatibility, infidelity, and money issues. And this is just about marriages. Think about dating. I've never been married, but this is definitely why relationships have ended for me. Because remember, I'm the single girl's life coach. I don't coach married women. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right. So we date. Okay. So I want another point on what I mean by data collecting. The problem is we date thinking, how can I be the perfect woman for him? Instead of thinking, do I have the capacity to deal with him and what comes with it? Because you should be collecting data on his behaviors. What is he showing you? You are your actions. You are not what you say. Sorry. You are your actions. You are the sum of your actions. That is who you are. That is who men are. That is who you are. But the problem is when we're out here dating, we judge ourselves for not wanting to deal with certain things. When they come up, we judge ourselves. Oh, that's mean, or I'm being too picky. And then you go, well, you know what? I have the power to change him. I'm going to love him good enough and he'll just change for me. And how well has that been working out for you? You're miserable. Because you need to leave the changing of people up to God, not you. It has nothing to do with you. But your ego thinks that you can change people. And what do I got an example, another story time. This time is not about me, but it is about a woman who asked me a question. And so this was her question. And I had to share, let me take this off the banner. Okay, there we go. Okay. So I was going to read it, then I was like, this is a lot. So we're just going to read through it together, okay? Because I definitely have some points. And I definitely want you to know that you've been in this situation. When you are outside of a situation, I call myself the helicopter in the sky for women. When you're outside the situation, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, girl, just leave him. Blah, 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 blah. But think about your situation. And when there's feelings attached, it's hard for you to break that chain. It's hard for you to break that trauma bond. It's hard for you to figure out why you would stay. It's hard for you to figure out it's hard for you to actually do the action of leaving. There's a disconnect. Because you know, this is not right. He's treating me bad. I should leave, but you don't. You leave the window open. You may break up with him for 2 weeks, but then he comes back and you're like, oh my God, but I love him. And there's no judgment. Listen, I've been here. I just told you I had a $10,000 boyfriend. I'm just speaking to you from the seat, from the voice I needed when I was in these relationships. If I'm older than you, I call myself your big sister. If we're the same age, if we're peer to peer, I'm your homegirl in your head. So let's break this down. She said, for 5 years, he's been resisting getting married, claiming he has been hurt by all the women that came before him. Unbeknownst to me, he has had health issues and not been able to hold down many jobs. He didn't tell me this for several years. Already, you've been dating a man for 5 years and he's been resisting getting married, but you want to be married? Why would you date him? Maya Angelou told you, when people show you who they are, believe them. So again, remember how I said we judge ourselves for not wanting to deal with certain things. You feel bad. You're like, well, let me give him a chance. Why? Where is that? What rule is that? Oh, because you think, because the Bible says treat others as you want to be treated. Am I stepping on toes today? So you're treating him how you would want to be treated, but that's not how any of this works. It's not how it works. Second paragraph. Oh yeah, and stop falling for dudes who are like, oh my God, I've been so wounded by women. Because my emotional abusive ex, oh my God, I felt so bad for him because he had a terrible childhood. Be careful of the write this down. Be careful of the duty you feel to love a man who isn't capable of loving you the way that you need to be loved. Be careful of that. Is that your assignment? Did God assign you to him? Because I don't know if that's, I don't know. So she goes on to say, so about 2 years into our dating, I found out he wasn't working and that he was being supported by his mom. But I chose to forgive him for lying to me and told him he had 3 weeks to get a job and get independent from his mom, which he did. Whoop! First of all, I don't know how you go 2 years without not knowing working, but a lot of good liars can mask their lying. So okay. But also he lied to you. We're done. I don't deal with liars. Do you? Do you want to be the woman that deals with liars or not? I would argue that you would say not. So then when somebody demonstrates he lied to you, we're done. And that's two lies then, because he also had health issues, didn't tell you about them. Do you see how you can apply the copy paste, apply this to your situation with the man that you're thinking of right now when I ask you, have you been in a dysfunctional relationship? How many of these red flags you passed up? These are the this is the red flag. This is it. This is what, baby girl. Here it is. But we give men the benefit of the doubt. Why? 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 And then so at the end, she says, I just don't see how it's wise to bring him to the new house when he doesn't have a job and won't commit. He is 40 and we have dated for 5 years. If I dump him, am I being harsh? Why are you trying to apply logic to this? He's going to think it's harsh. Of course he is. Because he's not getting what he wants. But who cares what he thinks? So you're going to stay in this relationship because you feel bad? Well, I don't want to be mean. He's 40. He's supposed to have the audacity to believe that men should just have their shit together. Are you his mom? How many kids do you have? 1, 2, 3. You're the mother of them, not the mother of the men you date. It doesn't matter. So I just want to hone that in again. How miserable, write this down. Write this down. Ask yourself this question, journal this out tonight. How miserable am I willing to be just to be in a relationship? Just to get married, just to get across the finish line, just to get that ring. How miserable am I willing to be? I hope your answer is not at all. We're not doing that. If I was your coach, I'd be like, why? If you're like, well, a little bit, why? So you see what I mean by the topic of today. While men are dating, women are looking for husbands. In that past story, she wanted a husband so bad, she was willing to just go above and beyond. Okay, let's move on. How much time do I have? Ooh, I got about 10 minutes. Okay. All right, so now what, right? Maybe I snatched your edges. Maybe I stepped on some toes. I just want you to know it's coming from love right here because I was you. This is why I can talk about this, because I sat in the sea of fire. And I had to forgive the woman that I was in my emotionally abusive relationship and my $10,000 boyfriend. I had to forgive that girl. And I love her because she got me here. And now I feel like I'm in a season where God is like, I need you to talk to my daughters because they need to know that they are worthy regardless of their relationship status. I did not send her there to be struggling for my son. Let me work on him. Sarah Jakes, no, is it Sarah? Yeah. TD Jakes' daughter, right? She I think it's in her Girl Get Up sermon. But anyway, I remember her saying this quote before. She goes, women crack me up because we be thinking we can change men. What are you, God? Jesus walked on this earth, was it 30, 33 years? And people still didn't change. And he was literally here doing miracles, raising people from the dead, and they still didn't change. What makes you think you're going to make a man change? That is a self-fulfilling journey, a self-fulfilling prophecy. That ain't got nothing to do with how long and how much you can love him. Okay, now what? Okay, I want to talk to you about Single You Academy, because I don't want to just give you a few gems today. You write them down and you're all fired up for a week, and then you go back to your old habits. Because old habits are hard to break when you don't have accountability. This is why you're here. You're in this cycle of dysfunction. You saw my video ad with the water and you're like, oh my God, I need to know what she's dishing out. And so you're here. You're here for a reason, because you're in this cycle and you don't know how to get out. There's a disconnect between, I know this is trash. This is not what I want, but how do I stop it? How do I leave him for good? How do I never get in a relationship like this for good? So if you want that, keep listening, okay? Remember when I said that this episode was for the women who are sick of dating emotionally unavailable men, and you'd like to know how to avoid that? This is for the woman who you know what you want, but you don't know how to get it. You're also sick of getting your hopes up only for that relationship rug to be snatched from under you. There's 4 things that you must do. And it's called my 4 pillars to living a successful single life, if you want to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships. I'm gonna call you Lady O Nicole, because I'm not really sure how to say your name and I don't want to butcher it. I'm super embarrassed. Yes, if a person can't see they need to change, then there is no room for change. Their change is their responsibility. Exactly. And those are all great. Like, we hear these things all the time. How long has Oprah been walking this earth? Ayanna Van Zant been walking this earth, and we've been watching them adjacent. And we hear all of these things, quotes from Maya Angelou, and we still don't do better. So that's beautiful. And I love quotes like that. When people show you who they are, believe them. But there's a disconnect. I would argue there's a disconnect for you if you're here. Like, you hear that, sounds good. That Drake song, Know Yourself, Know Your Worth. Sounds good. You be texting that to your friends. That's your song in the club. Twerking into it. But I would argue you don't know who you are if you're in this cycle of dysfunction, or your worth. Okay, so my 4 pillars to living a successful single life. 4, okay? Number 1, there's 2, look, I'm using this mouse. I'm supposed to use my laptop mouse because I got my notes. Okay, okay. There's 2 things you need to know. 1, you need to know who you are outside of your favorite color. The who and why of who you are. You got to know your anxieties, your triggers, so you can create a safe space. You got to know how to define you, because if you don't know how to define you, and if you don't know who you are, society and men will be your mirror. And they will tell you who you are. So you have to know who you are outside of your favorite color. And then, number 2, know what you want. You got to know what you want. So remember when I was saying in data collecting, you need to be collecting data on his behavior and understand yourself enough to know, okay, these things that he's showcasing, I don't have the capacity for that. I don't want to do that. And stop judging yourself for making a judgment call on what you have the capacity for. It's not about judging somebody else's character. That's okay, figure that out. Somebody else will love it. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. The Bible says guard your heart. That's how you guard it. You got to know your heart first, right? So 2 things you need to know. Know who you are, know what you want. 2 behaviors you have to have. You have to embody these behaviors. Ooh, I'm thirsty. Hold on. Talking too much. Okay. All right. These 2 behaviors. Have the audacity to believe that you can get what you want. Remember how we talked about, you know what you want, you just don't know how to get it. You'll know how to get it once you know who you are and know what you want. But then you have to have the audacity to believe that you can get it, because how many of you broke rules for men? You knew what you wanted, he wasn't it, but you settled because, oh my God, the goal in life, I have to get this husband, I have to do this thing, I have to be with people. That's what people do. When actually, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8, that it's better to be single. He says, to my widows and my single women, or singles, it is better to be single like I am. And he goes into like, but if you can't contain the fire, that's the vagina, then okay, get married. But you have, the reason why he says that is because God sent you here for your purpose, not to be with one of his sons. And if you are going to be with one of his sons, okay, what's his purpose? What's your purpose? Do they align? Do the purpose together? Great. But we don't date like that. We just date because I don't want to be alone. Okay, so 2 behaviors you have to embody. Have the audacity to believe that you can get it. And lastly, the thing that we struggle with, the patience to wait for it. This is why old girl was in this relationship, because she didn't have the patience or the audacity to believe that she can get better than this. What is this? What? And I say, what is this? What? But I'm the one who has a $10,000 boyfriend. So I understand. But now that I'm on the other side, I can be like, I can look at this, like I said, the helicopter in the sky. It's hard to look at it when you're the ant in the ground. You're the ant on the ground with all of these feelings, and you're so emotionally attached to this man, the trauma bonding, manipulation, and lies that happen. And you're trying to make logical sense of that. So now I know immediately when a man isn't for me. I'd be like, oh, I literally told a man, I think like January, February, oh, you're not my husband. He showed something. I was like, nope. Because there's a lot of praying going on anyway. Okay, so all right, let's get to Single You Academy. Has anyone ever had a conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship? Can you honestly say that you know the difference between healthy hard versus dysfunctional? Like when to leave. There's a disconnect, right? Like, okay, so is this okay? Do I leave? Definitely a disconnect. Thank you, Cheryl. Right? And it's because nobody had this conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship. All you know is people get married, and that's what we're supposed to do. Okay, but how? What did you learn from your parents about relationships? Journal that out. Write that down. What did you learn from your parents about relationships? What did you learn from the church about relationships? Write it down. I have my parents. I love my parents. They're still married to this day. Matter of fact, they'd be here next week. Unfortunately, my aunt passed, so there's a funeral. But they still married, but they're baby boomers. So they didn't sit little Reka down. It was like, okay, so this is character. This is narcissism. They probably didn't even know the word narcissism. What? Us millennials, we're learning these things, right? We're like, okay, well, narcissism and trauma bonding and all and childhood, all of that stuff. Traumas, we're learning that stuff. So I didn't even have these conversations. I just saw a healthy, happy marriage, but I didn't know how to copy paste. I didn't know how to apply. There was no instruction. Nobody gave me an instruction manual, right? And so I'm going to introduce you to a client of mine. Her name, well, I made up a name for her because I actually keep my clients' names private, because you can see how this could be something you want to keep private, right? So when she first came to me, she said, I date the same type of men because, like you said, it's like I'm happy that they chose me. Like you get so excited when you get chose, don't you? Oh my God, he likes me. Me? Oh my God, he could be the one. Okay, that's how we think. We get way too excited. Okay. And she goes, my last boyfriend, we were together for 7 years. And we did well together for a while, or so I thought, but he never wanted the commitment. And I never saw it. He kept stringing me along, stringing me along. How many of you can say you've been in a relationship like that? She goes on to say, I feel like I do all of these things. I am this good woman, so why not me? It's because you're sticking around with the guy who doesn't want to commit to you instead of breaking up with him and having the patience to wait for the guy who will. Raise your standards, and the guy that is for you, he'll meet them. So this is her now. After Single You Academy, after I worked with her, she said, Reka, I was able to stick up for myself after Amanda tried to put me in timeout like I was a kid. Listen, my emotionally abusive ex made me, and I say that in quotes because nobody can make you do anything. It was a choice that I thought that I had to do to prove to him that I loved him. But anyway, he made me give up friends for him. Thank God my friend Scott understood, because me and Scott, we cool now. We good. We good. We back to being good. That's my boy. Because he had the mindset that men and women cannot have a platonic relationship. So he always accused me of cheating, which he was cheating on me the whole time. So that's projection. When somebody is accusing you of something all the time, it's because they're doing it. That's a shadow they got. And they actually talking to themselves, but they've taken their traumas out on you. So anyway, this is her after she worked with me. She said, but this time I decided, okay, we'll just take the loss. I'll take the L. I'm not taking it anymore from men. I'm worth so much more. And I told him, I said, I don't have time for your foolishness. I value myself. And now it feels good. So that was her before and after with working with me inside of Single You Academy. Okay. And let me stop that. Okay. And then I am going to share with you another client. Let me share this screen of mine. And this is what she had to say. Oh, let me make it bigger so you can read it. And I loved this one because she was so right. She said, when a person hears Single You Academy, people were looking at me like, because of course she told her friends, like, I'm working with this coach. I'm learning how to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships without feeling the overwhelm of feeling bad for saying no. I'm discovering my worth so that I can stop tying my identity to men. And when she would tell her friends that, they'd be like, why did you pay for that? I could have taught you. And she was wise enough to know, no, you couldn't. You've been my friend for this many years, and look how many dysfunctional relationships I've been in. And she goes, no, you couldn't, because you weren't going to push me to the level of Single You Academy, by which literally doors started unlocking and helping me to have the strength to walk away. Single You Academy is definitely helpful, and it was worth every penny of it, and it truly is. You taking advice from friends, which is great to have a friend to talk to. That's wonderful. However, if they are not studying relationships and they are in the same cycle of dysfunction, how much help are they really? To give you actionable steps. So if there's that disconnect from, because she can kiki with you about, girl, yeah, he sucks, he da-da-da-da-da. And all she can tell you is, girl, just leave him then. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. There's a lot of things you have to uncover about yourself. It's deeper than that. So what is Single You Academy? I guess I can stop this sharing. Are there any questions? Is this resonating? I see you watching. I love it. Is this resonating with you? If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments. I just want to make sure that this content is something you feel you need. You're like, oh my God, yes. Did you get some gems from this? Was this helpful? You could just type yes in the chat. Yes, I love it. Or tell me something you took away from it. Okay, so Single You Academy is my online coaching program. It's a group coaching program. It's 16 weeks, and it's an inner work program. Focus on your growth. Who do I help? Professional, statistically, this is who I have helped. Professional single moms in their 30s and 40s who want to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships with men, specifically their baby daddy, without the overwhelm of feeling mean for saying no. They want to connect the dots between this is not what I want and this is, so how do I get this? My clients are women who are ready to discover their worth and learn how to set clear boundaries. Clear, hard boundaries That's why I call myself a boundaries coach and a self-love coach. I am not a dating coach. I'm not going to be like, so this is how you date. We're not doing that. But I am here to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you want. So if you say you want a healthy relationship with yourself and a healthy relationship with men, and this works for other people too. I just always put it in the bucket of self, men, whatever. But if you want that, I'm here to hold you accountable for that. It's hard, but I'm here. It's hard for you to do it on your own. Not hard for me to hold you accountable. And obviously it's a do with process, right? I'm not a fairy godmother. I can't boop, 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 and there you go. We have until midnight. Okay, so I want you to ask yourself this question. I know I asked you this earlier. Think about everything you have to study for in this life to get your driver's license, the training you have to go through at your job, diversity training, sexual harassment training, the onboarding, the things, the hoops you have to jump through to even get your job. Why do we focus? So we focus on that, but we don't focus on studying ourselves. You don't focus on learning the difference between healthy and unhealthy, healthy heart and relationship versus dysfunctional. Okay? Because relationships affect our life in a way more than anything else. Relationships are everything. They can make us or break us. Relationships are everything, and we don't study it. And how is that working out for you? Why isn't it required to study self and relationships? That should be a requirement. But that's not the way our educational system is set up. It's on us. You got to figure you out. Oh, hold on. Pulling something up. I'm going to show you the website. So I say all that to say that's what Single You Academy is, the coaching program. It is to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you want. Applications are open now. The doors are open now. The doors close June 4th. The doors close June 4th, and you do have to apply. If this is resonating with you and you're in, I would love to see your application come through. So the website is singleUacademy.com, and it has all the information. And then you'll also be able to click here to apply. But this is the information. And so if you want more information, I want you to type I'm in the chat, I'm in, or send me a DM, because the doors are open for you. If you're like, I am that woman who needs to stop this cycle. You've been working on yourself, but it's like you keep losing it. Old habits are hard to break for you. You know what you want when it comes to relationships, but you don't know how to get it or where to start. Start with me. And let's connect that dot from the disconnection to here. Boom. All right. Are there any questions for me? And I'm going to type the website. So if you're in, if you want to fill out an application, type I'm in the chat, and I can send you a DM or you can send me a DM. My DMs are open. It is not weird. I will not be like, why is this girl DMing me? This is weird. I won't say that. So singleUacademy.com. That's a super easy website, I hope, for you. And it's YOU, obviously. All right, doors are open now. Doors close June 4th. And with that, we are done, okay? This is part 3 of my masterclass series, How to Dodge a Dysfunctional Relationship. Part 4, Monday. It's an 8-part series, and we'll do number 4 on Monday at 1 p.m. If you have any questions, my DM is open. Have a good rest of your, what is today? Thursday. There we go. And if you're watching this in the replay, if you have any comments or questions, I will still get the notifications, so you can do that as well. Okay. All right. Have a good rest of your Thursday.